Hey, for those of you new here, every day I go live and I do these live videos where I cover everything trading related, from trading stats to mindset to everything. Also, please, if you are new, hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of these videos. If you don't know me, my name is Ryan Carruthers from betfairtradingcommunity.com, where we help traders get further faster with our stats software, videos and so much more. I've been trading on the Betfair exchanges for about 8-9 years now. So hopefully these videos are going to help you. They seem to be quite popular, and if you do have anything to say, any questions, pop them in the chat below. I think it's that way actually. Then I've got the screen up here, so I will crack on and help you. So another morning, day 2 on the 30 days. So I think probably best place to start by grabbing the book where I made some notes on the last videos, getting to the page. How was everybody's bank holiday weekend? Was it good? What did you get up to? Let me know. I'm genuinely interested to see what people do on their time off. I've wrote on the bottom of here as well to ask the audience, what trade or trading related thing over the weekend were you proud of? So if you pop that in the comments below and let me see what you was proud of. What did you do? What did you set out to achieve this weekend? It could have been absolutely anything. It could have been just, I don't know, following your trading guide, your trading plan. So you wanted to enter that trade at that and exit at that, and you did that. So you're proud of that, and if you did that, then you should be. So I will pick up from where we left off. I'm going to go through the notes from Friday. So what we found on Friday was the Hobro versus Our House game, which kicked off at 6 p.m. That was a 0-0 at half time. We was looking to lay the draw on that one. And 7 p.m, Sparta Rotterdam versus Volendam, 1-0 or 1-1 at half time. Then we would have laid the correct score. We did pre-match trade on Real Sociedad, which was, we backed them at 2.28. That didn't really, to be honest, I'll go over that one now. That one didn't really set ablaze. Got a couple of ticks on there, but not absolutely amazing, but again, not a loss. The one tick recycle that we did on Bayern Munich, where we was getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, that worked quite well. So that one was nice. And we also did a first set 4-4 Genie Bouchard lay, which was quite a good one. So, well, we had quite a good list of trades to go through. So I'm going to start with the Hobro game. I'm just going to find that. So at half time, that was 0-1 to Our House, so we left that one alone. So I'll cross that one off because nothing really happened there. Sparta, let's find the Sparta game. So Sparta Rotterdam, we were looking for a 1-0 or a 1-1 at half time. It was actually 0-0 at half time. And that game, if you did decide to get involved and lay the 0-0, it finished 2-0 to Sparta Rotterdam, which was pretty cool. So yeah, we didn't really get involved in that one. So the main one so far was that Bayern Munich one, which went quite well. Let me get rid of all of this. So we are looking at going back to the Friday. So now we're looking for Genie Bouchard. Eugenie Bouchard actually smashed her opponent. She won the first set 6-love and then the second set 6-3, which was massive. In qualification as well, should Genie Bouchard really, the talent that girl has got, should she really be having to qualify for these tournaments, or should she be much higher ranked? I think she should be, but as I spoke about on other videos, the endorsements have kind of got to her. So that's that. I'm going to get a fresh page for today, the 28th. So, just picking up on one of the comments there, we have Ewan, who stuck to one strategy mostly. It's good. It's very good. I think a lot of the time people get in their heads that they've got to have lots and lots of different strategies, and you really don't. If you've got one strategy that works well for you, stick with it. You can scale that up. One of the members on BTC, Keith, he's unbelievably good at half time, and he just literally lays the correct score or lays the draw. That's what he does. He researches the right games and he goes for it. It was fantastic. Today I am just going to pull up, I'm just downloading my spreadsheet now. Okay. So Charlie, my aim for this weekend was to hit £120 from £90 so I could get a membership with you guys, and I ended up blowing my bank. Started with a bank of £20. Gutted. Oh no, oh no. They make me sad. But do you know what? Absolute kudos for you for writing that there and putting that out there. What happened, Charlie, if you don't mind me asking? Do you know what the catalyst was? Did you have a losing trade and then did you try and win that back? I just would love to be able to help you there. I really would. Yeah, it's heartbreaking when people blow their banks. I wish I could help people stop that. Really do. So all of my filters have been downloaded. The football today, there's not loads and loads and loads of it on. So we've got a couple of potential. The big league today, it looks like, is Sweden, the Superettan. And I've got I can never say these teams. They're so tough to say. Orgrite versus Gase. That is popping up in a couple of my filters. So it's popping up on a potential for potentially a half-time 0-0 drip lay. So there's going to be a goal in the first half. It's coming up for 1.5 goals over as well. So I have a couple of filters that I use to help filter out games, and I do actually like to look at the over 1.5s, but I do them quite differently to getting in from the start. I will look to get in around 15 or 20 minutes, and I'll split my stake up into probably two batches. Sometimes I even try and get in at 30 minutes, 30 and 60. So I'll put half my stake in at 30 and the other half in at 60. And the reason for that is that if there is a goal between 30 and 60 minutes, then obviously the closer we get to 60 minutes, the less profit I'm going to take. But if there is a goal in the first half, then it spikes up and then I can get out and take my profit because I'm only after the one goal. And if the goal's coming later, then I'm in at 60 minutes, so I've got in at a better price, so that I will make a little bit of money. And I do quite like to trade like that. But that one is falling into a couple. It's also looking like the away team don't have the best the best form either. So I'm just going to delve into that game. So we've got, the first thing I'm going to look at is the half-time scores. Now, the 0-0 here is 40%. So this isn't going to be, even though it did hit into my filter for a 0-0 potential drip lay of the 0-0 at half-time. This is why I then go into other stats. So that 40% 0-0, I'm not happy with that at half-time, so I'm not going to be getting involved in the first half market. That drops to such a big drop, 10%. 10% 0-0 at half-time. At full-time, sorry. 0-0, 10%, so that's a big drop. Yeah, that's looking good. So then what we need to do from now is check out the goal times. So the overs in the second half, over 0.5, we have an 80% chance of a goal. So that's quite nice there. These two, oh, this is one thing I don't like though. So I've just literally looked left at the BTC stats, seen the league table, and I've seen that these teams are there and there in the league, directly on top of each other. No, I don't usually like that. I really don't. I don't like that. I don't like doing that when the teams are quite close. And then I've checked the form. Let me check the home form. So the home form of the home team isn't great. The away form isn't great either. Do you know what? That is a game that I'm really not that happy with, actually. So all the stats. Oh, jeez. So all the stats made it look like it might be a nice one, but I'm not actually happy. Right, so the totals of goals overall, half one, first half is 10, second half is 21, which, yeah, 3.1 goals on average by full time. That's not screaming out at me, that one, you know. That one really isn't screaming out at me. I'm just looking through some other stats now, looking at sequences, trying to see if there is something that I can actually, if I can find that I like the look of. I mean, the stats are also then telling me now that the first to score is the away team, 80% of the time. I'm just really not liking this one at all, so I'm not even gonna touch it at all. Staying well away from it. There is this one. Okay, so there's one in Ireland, Dundalk versus Shamrock Rovers. So that's another one I'm going to have a look at now, because that looks like that could be. So Dundalk, top of the league, form is incredible. Overall, their home form very good. Shamrock's away form is sort of mid-ish. They win a couple, they draw a couple. Looking at the stats as well, the scores versus conceded. Shamrock, first to score 100% of the time. So now, that makes me think this could be a good lay the draw or a good back of Shamrock. But I need to check that, no, a good back of Dundalk, sorry. So Shamrock, they concede first 40% of the time. It's not enough for a lay the draw for me. So now I need to actually check the half-time scores. 55% 0-0 at half-time. 55%. That drops to 15%. That's a huge drop at full-time. This looks like this could be a good one for me. Okay, so head-to-head, second half, we've got over 0.5, 80% chance of a goal. So one goal, and overall 0.5, 80%. Looks like the goals come in the second half. Overall percentage, 65%, so 31 goals in the second half. Average goals, full-time 2.4, and the average of the first goal, the overall average is 42 minutes. So you can see that it's quite high. So that actually looks like that might be a nice one there to do a 0-0. If that's 0-0 at half time, I'm going to look to do a lay the draw there. Okay, so I'm going to write that one down. So we've got 7:45 p.m. We've got Shamrock, Dundalk. Why do I always want to say that Shamrock are the home team? Dundalk versus Shamrock. and we're talking a 0-0 at half time LTD. Nice lay the draw. Or LCS. So I'd look LCS, lay the current score, and I would drop that in. Right, I'm just going to pick up on a couple of the comments now. Charlie, can you do a video all the way through from stats to the live implied trade and a full breakdown of research? Yes, I can look to do those kinds of things. Not a problem. So you laid the draw on City too early, you believe, and you just chased, to be honest. I needed to set stop losses and get a handle of risk reward, but by not much out there on these subjects. Yes, well, risk reward is quite a tricky one, I think, for people, because as we were talking about on the last video on Friday, where I mentioned that there was a discussion on the forum about risk reward, and people were talking about, do you need a one-to-one risk reward? And I didn't agree with that. And it's tricky because it's down to people, it's down to the way you're trading, what you're trading, your strike rate, your strategy. Because if you've got a high strike rate, then you don't need a one-to-one risk reward. If you're laying the draw, for example, and you're hitting sort of 85-90%, you don't really need that one-to-one. So you laid the draw too early. So when you mean too early, why? Why do you think it was too early? Why did you pick that game? What was the thought process behind that? And before you entered that trade, did you have in your mind a set of rules for that trade? So you said there you needed to set stop losses. So before I do any trade, it's there's my entry point, there's my exit point, and that's that. So entry, exit, stop loss, profit, goals coming in there, I'm coming out. There we go. And that's what I do. So that's on my trading plan with my notes, so that I've got that set up before. So another question come through: how many of your football trades do you automate? So I actually automate the. I'll tell you my list now. So I have 1, 2, 3 filters on BTC stats that are very, very similar. So it's the 0-0s at half times, the 0-1, the 1-0 as well. So I'll automate those at half time. So I've got three different types of filters that I will automate at half time, and they are all based on the set and forget of the 0-0, the 0-1, the 1-0s, etc. But I will cancel them if there's not enough goal action in them. So they are automated, but I do oversee them. So I do oversee them. Although not for 2 filters, because I know over a long period of time they've been really, really profitable. But I've got really low stakes on those ones. I also do automate the over 1.5 goals that I have a filter for, just because they're quite nice and quite easy to do, and I've got a lot of historical data on them. And Martin on BTC is cranking out some under 2.5 trades, which I love. I love an under 2.5. So you find a game where it's a high chance of it being 0-0 at half time, and other stats included in that as well. And then you back under 2.5s, and then you get out around 20 minutes. I automate those as well. Again, lower stakes. So my automated stuff has taken me a long time to get correct, probably 2 years to get right. Just because I wanted to collect lots of data, and I'm quite anal about that. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But then some of the other stuff I'm on and I'm checking. So this Dundalk one, I will check that. I won't automate that. I'll go through that and do that there. So that is sort of the football for today. There's not loads and loads of football today, is there? Let me just have a look at the news around the football as well. Let me have a little look, some football news, see what's happening today, see what's been happening over the weekend. I'm seeing that Jose had a fun weekend. and walked out of the press conference, I believe. Yeah, so Sam Allardyce has launched a passionate defence of Jose Mourinho following Man United's 3-0 defeat to Tottenham, saying Spurs were outplayed by the Red Devils. The pressure is on Jose. Well, it is his third season, and he usually struggles in his third season. Don't know why that is. Obviously, I'm ecstatic because Liverpool have started very, very well. I've just seen as well Guardiola's dazzling City numbers. That's just reminded me that I wanted to watch the Amazon All or Nothing on Man City. I love those All or Nothings because fantastic to get an insight on those players. I've just seen the tennis as well, so we've got some projected holds on there. Oh wow, so I've downloaded my tennis sheet and there is 219 rows of tennis information to go through. Are these filters you've spoken with, shared with the community? Yes, yeah, they are. In fact, actually, 2 of the filters were not mine. They were one, two, three. All three filters are members' filters. So they're members' filters that the members have created, and we have on. So when you log into the stats software, there's 2. There's under my qualifiers, there's 2. So there's your own qualifiers where you can save as many as you want, and then below that there's something called members filters, and on there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 filters there. And then in the forum, some people have spoke about their filters, which they've given the actual stats on there, so then you can copy them. So they're great. And then that's just on the football. On the tennis, we have a couple of great guys. Maybe Frode will be watching, but Frode has created some fantastic stuff for the members as well. And then I have built in with him on that. And then we create a list for the members every day. And then Simon's got these lays, which are just amazing, which he shares. So I'm diving into the community now, and Simon has done some stuff. Yeah, one of the reasons why I created BTC was I wanted a trader's haven, Charlie. I wanted a place where traders could talk, share their stuff, because trading's quite lonely. You know, if I sat here all day trading on my own, it just drive me crazy. So it's great to have the community. And like I keep saying, I've learned more from the members, I'm sure, than I've given them. Hopefully that's not correct, but I've learned so much from them. And just being able to chat and do all of those kinds of things with these people, it's just been really, really, really great. And go through and help them. I'm just reading out now. So Martin's going to put up his basic filter. Frode's going to share his basic filter as well. So that's great. So I need to make a note to check out. So I've got these 219 rows to go through. Some of them won't obviously meet the criteria. There is a lot of tennis coming up. Oh, this is so much tennis today. So we collectively, sort of in the morning, create all of these things really between all of us, and we sort of help each other build on ideas that we've got. So I'm just going to pick today I'm going to keep it really simple for you. We're going to do the 1 set 1, lost the next game, because that's the easiest way. That is the easier way of doing this. Percentages, sequences. One set one, lost next game, 4 p.m. today. We have... I'm so bad with names. Travaglia versus Hook Zach. I told you I'm awful with names. Oh, I can say Zverev though. I love Zverev. I love it. I love that player. And it's fantastic. One set one, lost next game 50% of the time. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to jump over. So Zverev, I'm going to look at him today. So 7 p.m, ATP US Open. 28th, 7 p.m. Zverev. Set one, lost next game. Okay, so cracking trade there. There's a couple of questions as well that I'm just going to jump to right now. Just going to get the stats up because someone's asked a question. Charlie, you almost need a mentor when starting. I don't think I did too bad on small stakes over a week and I just need guidance. Okay, so I have probably a couple of things about that, but why do you think that you need a mentor? What is it that you want to ask them and at what stage? Because once we've got the answer, once you've answered that, we can probably do some bit. So Martin's on the community talking about the Unders Club, which is good. Okay. Just getting some more data up. Check a few things out. Risk, reward, and strike rate. But specifically, what about those things? Because they're quite broad subjects. I'm going to really want to try and narrow this down right now so that we can really, really get into this. So, Brigitte Nagy, Fulham versus Exeter today, Goodlay the draw. That's in the Carabao Cup. To be honest, that's not one I don't really get involved in the cups, to be honest, because for me the data isn't there. So I know that some of my members will watch those games, go in, play and do that kind of thing. But for me, the data isn't there for me to get involved in that. And the Carabao Cup isn't a cup that I particularly like. It's a cup that a lot of teams don't field their good players in for many, many reasons. They play the kids, so you can get these crazy results. And yeah, it's just not, for me, the Carabao Cup. Ewan, oh, great to see you in the community as well. And thank you for posting as well. Thank you for posting in the community. I love your avatar. That is really cool. I'm just reading, I'm amazed that. What are you doing in the Zverev game? Okay, so the Zverev game, the stats are stating there's a 50% chance if he wins the first set, he's going to lose the next game. So if Zverev wins the first set, I will then place a lay on him. Now his odds are going to be really good. Like we're going to be doing really, really well there. And in fact, actually, I'm going to pull up that. I'm going to pull that up and let's have a look. Let's find his odds out. Zverev. So Zverev to win the match totally is 1.09. If he wins the first set, they are going to drop massively. So I'll place a lay of him after he's won the first set, and then the stats telling me there is a 50% chance he is going to lose the next game. Now I don't need him to lose the next game, I just need a fear of losing the next game, so a break point, or the other player has game point on serve, so they're 40-30, and then or 40-15 would be perfect. And then I can get out of that just for a couple of ticks. This is just a really, really easy way for those of you who are getting into tennis trading to start to see how the tennis markets move, and also get to know the players, which is fantastic. So that's wrote down on the sheet. So I've got the Dundalk game and the Zverev one. So been on for about 30 minutes now, guys. I'm probably going to hang around for a couple more minutes if there is any questions, just while I'll go through this. I am just going to fantastic to see that these people you guys are commenting on the forum and getting in. Great, thanks. It's great to have you as well, Ewan. There's just so much happening this morning. So I had a day pass with you guys to try and find better value trades. 1 of 4 came in, so it stuck to high risk, smaller rewards like City and Leeds. Okay, so my first thing would be don't go on high risk. Let's find smaller risks. So high risk, smaller rewards, because usually when you do a higher risk, you get a higher reward to pay off for that risk versus reward ratio, because you've got a higher risk, so you need a higher reward for it. No, Charlie, do you know what? This is something that I really, really struggled with. And I absolutely take my hat off to you for having the balls to put that down on a live video or at 9:35 on a Tuesday morning after the weekend of trading, and I take my hat off to you. You've got some serious balls for doing that, so well done, sir. And do you know what? We're all in this together. We are all, no matter what stage of trading you are at, you have all had these questions in your head. And there's another reason why I wanted to create, you don't ask, you don't learn. Exactly. So it's only by asking that you learn. And even sometimes now, I'll have a thought and go, nah, surely not. And I have to actually go back and relearn it, or find something in the community to help me learn. And the fact that you are asking is incredible. I listened to a podcast this morning and it said the intelligent person, the difference between intelligent people and not intelligent people is that intelligent people know when to ask the question and shut up instead of thinking they know it. So I would focus on much lower risk and get that lower reward. But let's get some consistency there. So it sounded like, so you was looking for better value trades. Now, when you're talking about better value, was you talking about, if you're talking about that the odds don't match what the stats are saying, so that you've got value on the odds in terms of what can happen, or just better value trades in general, so you are better, more educated trades? Because they're two slightly different things, and we can cover those for you. But one of 4 came in, so you stuck to a higher risk, smaller reward. So we need to find stats to odds. Perfect. So when you're looking at the stats to odds, that's just a basis. So we get the stats in, we find all of that information out, and then we add to that the in-play stuff. So what I say to every trader, and Frode asked the question of what's the best strategy for somebody new starting out on football trading, and I genuinely believe that it is get involved at half time and doing some kind of half time lay the draw or lay the current score, because you then get to watch the whole first half so that you can create stats and a picture of a game, and you can just watch, because you're waiting, your entry point is half time. So you can create these pictures of games and then you're watching and waiting. So then you're starting to attribute in the first half You're starting to think like a trader, attribute what's happening to the stats, to what you're seeing, to what you thought was happening. So then the second half, you've already sort of started on that path of a trader. Your mindset is there. So then at halftime, if it's 0-0 like you thought it was going to be, then you start to attribute the next things to move that trade on. And then by then, the odds have changed, so you've got even more value. So your risk and reward is increased. You can then wait a little bit to get involved at, say, 2.7, 2.5, and then stay in for a period of time. Your risk has been reduced because you're actually implementing the stats to what you're seeing and odds. So it's almost a trifecta. And then you can get involved. And it narrows down the field as well for you. So instead of casting this huge net, you've got really, really specific. You've got a set amount of trades there that fit potentially your criteria, and then they're being crossed off as you get to half time. That's something that I would definitely look to do. I would look to, for me, I'm always trying to protect the downside. Always trying to protect the downside. Do you have a maximum odds you would get into on lay the draw or lay the current score at half time? Lay the current score at half time. Yes, I do. So on the lay the draw, I'm usually waiting till those odds are around 2.7, which did come from Keith, one of the members. So I'm waiting from there, and then I attribute that to what's happening in the game. So I want to be sort of getting in around that if there looks like there's going to be some action. If the game is just really crazy and we're just over 2.7, but I can sense there's going to be a goal, I will wait just till it hits 2.7, even though the temptation is there. So if I miss a trade, it doesn't matter. I will wait. And on the lay the current score, the sweet spot, as we found on the community, seems to be 4.2 to 4.4, so that's more of a set and forget with a longer term strike rate. And then those drop my stakes, because I'm not trading them, they're set and forget, drop my stakes low and just do them when they hit that criteria, 4.2, 4.4, and we move on, and we do those in bulk because the strike rate is there. So that was on, so for the members that want to check that thread out, I believe it was John Folan's, and he did a thread on the automation, so you can find that. Yes, you can find that. John Folan, lay the correct score if 0-0 or 0-1, and there's also some automation files in there as well for people. Oh, so yeah, hopefully that was another cracking video. I absolutely love doing these, and to see the interaction from you guys was incredible. Charlie, you are an absolute legend for coming on this morning and saying some of those things. That took some serious balls. Drop me an email, info@Betfair Trading Community, please, Charlie. I'd like to expand this chat with you a little bit further. Just put FAO Ryan and I will pick that up. I changed the camera angle today because you guys have been amazing. Absolutely amazing, and not just helping me out on what to talk about, also where to put the camera, what to do with it, which is just fantastic. Like I say, I want these videos to be amazing. Thanks for doing these videos, appreciate it. No, I absolutely love doing them, and like I say, let's get 500-600 people on here and let's really pick into some trading games and find some new ways of doing things that we can all help each other on. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic trading day. I'm going to delve into the community now. There's a few things that I need to pick up on. Some guys asking some questions in there, so I'm going to go and pick them apart. Not the guys, because we only have one rule at BTC, and that is that every single person can ask as many questions as they want, and no question is a daft question. That's how we built the ethos, and if you come in and you start picking on people for that, you will be gone. So yes, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. I am absolutely buzzing for trading today. I went to the Peak District yesterday and climbed a massive peak, so I'm all tight today. So I'm like, twisting and tight. But I will be back again tomorrow morning to do another one of these videos, and let's see what happens in these couple of trades. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you soon.